98% of customers lose some or all of their money. The AMF actually did a secret client study. So they pretended to be customers of binary options and they went to the companies. And what they found that is even in the companies, the number of people who lose their money approaches 100%. And even in the regulated companies, the companies that were in Cyprus, the percentage of customers who lose their money approaches 100%. Cyprus says that Cyprus has cracked down a little bit since then, but nevertheless, it's a very high percentage of customers who lose their money.
And in your articles, you also write about the damage caused by this industry. So people divorced, people got sick, people lost all their money, and some people also committed suicide.
Right, right. So you have a sales room. You have a lot of young men. Most of the salespeople are young men, although there are some women. They're pumped up. They've been drinking, maybe taking cocaine, drugs, and they have an amount of money that they have to earn. Some of the retention managers have to earn $100,000 a month, right? In that case, there's no limit anymore to how much money they're willing to take from a customer. They'll take all of a customer's savings, they'll persuade the customer to sell their house, and then when the customer says, I don't have a house anymore and I'm borrowing money, they'll tell them to borrow some more. And that's the situation, you see. So the majority of customers lose $250 or 250 euros, $500, and then they quit. They see it's not a good idea, but there is a significant number, perhaps, you know, I don't want to say maybe it's 10% of customers, but I don't want to say what percentage of customers it is. But there's a significant minority of customers who lose huge amounts of money, 50,000 euros, 100,000 euros, who lose their house. And there have been some who've killed themselves. I've heard of at least 3 people who've killed themselves, and we actually wrote a story about one of them, Fred Turbide. May he rest in peace, and his family was brave enough to come forward and tell his story because they didn't want this to happen to other people.
So it is a fraud, it is a scam in a big scale, and it's happening just here in Tel Aviv. What would you say to all these young people, new immigrants to Israel? They don't speak the language, they don't speak Hebrew, and are looking for a job. And they see an ad for a good job, well paid. And they go to
Don't do it. Don't do it. The Israeli police have arrested very few people so far, but that could change as awareness grows of what's going on in this industry. In November, there were about 35 people arrested, most of them young immigrants from France, who had made Aliyah and then found themselves in jail. And jail is not pleasant, and jail is even worse if you don't know the language. So it's not worth the high salary to find yourself in jail or to find yourself subject to lawsuits. You don't know who else is going to come after you in the future. You don't know who's going to find out that you're actually the broker who scammed them. I wouldn't even go near that industry.
And this is a big industry, so they need all kind of people and abilities. So people work only in the accountant business, in the department, some in the computer programmation. So they can say, I don't steal anything, I just help, I just do my job.
Right, just like the person who drives the car for the hitman is only driving the car and they're not actually committing the crime. They're helping the crime, and in fact, when the Israeli police did arrest those 35 people. The 35 people were running, most of them were from France. They were running a scam that involved binary options, Forex, and also the, what's it called, the president's, the CEO scam, which is very well known in France. When the police arrested them, they arrested everyone. They arrested the accountant for the company. They arrested some young guy who was just providing IT services. So nobody, if the police ever crack down on this, nobody is exempt.